fish. Spotted bass kind of are very used to the cold weather. They can handle it. And, you know, it started out good. I caught 2 on a drop shot pretty quick, spotted bass. I was just throwing a little Berkeley power bait, hand pour, watermelon red. Then I would throw the crankbait as the day went on. I was throwing the fish head spin a little bit. I caught a few on a jig. The first day I caught 2 on a football head jig. So you kind of had to, but everything was slow. I mean, slow, slow, slow. Well, come to find out, Randall Tharp only had 2 fish the first day after weigh-in, and he said, "Did you go there?" And I said, "No, I wanted to stay deep today because of the weather." He went to go behind that bridge, and it was solid ice. The whole entire pocket had frozen over. Now, as the tournament went on, it actually got better, and the second day was 28. Heat wave, 28 heat wave came through, and it got up to I think 39 that day, so a little better. But I started with a drop shot again, tried a fish head spin, caught about a 4.5 pounder on the new Yozuri mid crank, and then I picked up my little jig, and the water temp got up to about 44 degrees. Now it was 39, which sounds super cold, which it is, but to those fish, that's a warming trend. So towards the end of the day, I went and skipped a few docks with a little jig up there, and I caught a 3 3/4 pounder, and I caught a 4.5 pounder. That gave me 17.4. I was in 8th place going into the final day, and I said, well, my plan's working. I'm just going to keep doing what I like to do, and went and drop shot it a little bit. I caught 1 doing that, and then I went through fish head spin a little bit, caught 1 or 2 doing that, and I picked up the Yozuri crank. I caught 2 3-pounders on back-to-back casts, and I had filled my limit, so I felt good about today. I had about 15 pounds, and I said, now I want to go skip my jig around some docks. And I pulled up to this dock, and I skipped the jig under it, felt the bite, set the hook, and it took me about 10 minutes to get it in. And when I pulled this fish in, it's the biggest fish of the day, it weighed 6'6". It had 2 4-pounders with it, and they were trying to literally eat my hands trying to grab this 6-pounder. I'm like, stay focused. You can't catch all 3 at once. Just get this one in and get him in the box. I mean, this is a game changer. A 6.5 pounder in the Bassmaster Classic on Lake Hartwell is I mean, could be the winning fish is what I'm thinking. I got that fish in. I did a little cheer, had a couple of moments. I skipped the jig back under there, and when I reeled the jig out, it had about 15 bass with it, but they wouldn't eat the jig right then. I said, well, they just got spooked a little bit. So I made a big loop around. I came back about 30 minutes later. Of course, now I got a drone flying over me. The helicopter's there. All the camera boats have showed up, and I skipped that jig under there, man. I lifted it up, and 1 jumped it, you know, and I said, golly, it's my day. Right before I set the hook, the line went slack, and she had dropped it. And I didn't know what to do, and I played with it a little bit, never got a bite, and I reeled the jig in. It looked like that whole entire dock was swimming to the boat. There was that many big bass under this dock. 3 to 5 pounders, and the one that chased it right to the troll motor, I just knew she was going to get it. It was like a 4 or 5 pounder, and I killed the jig right there, and it swam around, and then I went to move it, and it spread out. I tried everything I could, but it was one of those moments. I'm like, if I can just catch 1 or 2 of these, I'm fixing to have a 22, 23 pound day with it, and I already got a 6 and a 4 in the box and a 3, and you know, it was unfortunate that went on, but I just kept an open mind. I mean, I caught them from when I was drop shotting, and I meant to tell you guys earlier, I caught them in 42 foot of water, looking at them on my Humminbird, dropping the bait straight down there, which we all know how to do. The graphs are so good now, you can literally watch your bait. You can watch the arcs when they, you know, if you dropped it through one and he went down after your bait, you knew that fish was probably going to eat. And then to catch him on the crank, I was throwing it about 8 to 10 foot of water, and then towards the end of every day, I would skip the docks in 2 to 4 foot of water. So I mean, I was all over the map, but I kept an open mind, and I fished slow. You know, it's not cast to a dock, reel it in, cast to a dock, reel it in. You know, when you start getting later in the year, you try to make the perfect pitch you could and just real finesse every bait you had, and it was close to a win, but unfortunately that first day left me a little short. I only had 4 fish that weighed 10 pounds, and on the final day I ended up with 19 pounds. So an amazing event, and I tell you, man, I'm excited to get to the next one, and when that's coming, you know, I have no idea, but it's a special. It was a special classic. Congratulations to Casey Ashley, you know, the hometown hero. He did an awesome job.
He's a good friend of mine, a good friend of yours.
Yep.
He's been at the show like 10 times.
Yeah.
He's always